Hello, I'm joined today by my guest, Lisa Williamson from No Letting Go. Lisa is the head of compliance there at No Letting Go, and we're here today to try and answer some very commonly asked questions when it comes to claiming deposits back and disputes that may arise. And these things tend to sort of follow the same pattern every time. There is a commonality between a lot of these things because they do very often come up, and we always, as agents, we always don't know whether or not something is classed as wear and tear or whether something is actually torn beyond belief and needs to be repaired. And we're very surprised sometimes with some of the answers given during adjudication. So here to cast some light on that is Lisa. Lisa, welcome.
Thanks very much, David. Thank you very much for inviting me along today.
So another area that I think comes up more often than we like to give it credit for, and actually is a real talking point within the industry due to changes that are coming up and that have already been made in some cases, but dogs or pets. So during lockdown, a lot of people got dogs, and the incidents of people sort of coming to properties with pets nowadays is just absolutely huge. It's one of the first questions that people ask, but sometimes people don't ask the question and they don't tell you that they've got a dog, or life changes in between and they do get a dog at some point, but they just haven't bothered to get permission. When you find out about it, it can be right at the end of that tenancy when you walk in, and there's that unmistakable odor of dog in the carpet or furniture or whatever else may be there. And let's face it, not all dogs smell, but it is a factor that landlords have to come across all the time, and they will often think, well, why can't I have this professionally cleaned?
Yeah, and it is a real issue. And as you say, I think this is going to become much worse because, as you say, legislation is changing. But so there's two things to consider. Obviously, the tenancy agreement is crucial. In fact, the first document that an adjudicator will look at is not the inventory, they'll look at the tenancy agreement. So it's important for the landlord to ensure that there's a pet clause in there to either say no pets are allowed, or if there are pets allowed, the number and type of pets. But either way, even if the landlord has accepted a pet, it doesn't mean that the property should smell at the end. But it's advisable for the landlord to have a clause when they are allowing pets to say that the property will need to be professionally steamed. All soft furnishings, carpets, sofas, curtains will need to be steam cleaned or professionally cleaned. But what is a common dispute is where the landlord goes in and does their own checkout, says that it smells, that there's a dog odor, but the tenant has got a receipt for the property being professionally cleaned. And then the adjudicator's relying on the landlord saying it smells, but an independent inventory clerk might say, no, it's fine. So it's a really difficult thing for a landlord to prove.
And it's not something that you can evidence with a photograph. It's an odor at the end of the day. Yes. And it comes down to opinion as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And you know, the smell that the landlord might be smelling might be the aftermath. I don't know whether you've smelled a property after carpets have been steamed.
Yes.
Smell of smelly dogs, don't
they? They do, yeah, absolutely.
So then, you know, is that what the landlord's smelling, or is that, you know, is the landlord smelling the carpets have been cleaned? So what I would advocate is that where the landlord has got the heads up, there's been a dog or any type of pet at the property, I'd really strongly advise walk out for a professional independent checkout report, because when that lands on an adjudicator's desk, they're going to give that far more credence if an independent inventory clerk has said it smells of dog rather than the landlord.
It's fascinating, these areas of dispute, if you like, and they are far more common than people think. So it's really worthwhile people pay attention to this.